Have you ever watched an HD TV show and been like, that was too easy?
And there were plenty of towel racks.
That's true.
Have you ever wondered what really goes into creating a new space? In this video, we're going to show you the unscripted, behind the scenes look at what it takes to build a backyard. Through this video, you will see time lapse of the entire build, the obstacles we run into, and a bit of our personality. There's only two things that the husband cares about.
Okay.
The drainage and getting privacy.
Okay.
We can do literally whatever else we want in the yard.
Okay.
All this is for her. He wants to make sure that the drainage. The biggest issue with this entire yard is, as you can see right here, there is a swimming pool right here, and then there is a kitchen window right here, and all of that looks inside of their kitchen window right here. And then also, as this pergola goes in, we'll have to work with Andrew to try and figure out how maybe even there's like a little privacy on this front corner. That didn't sound too scripted, did it?
No.
No.
I didn't rehearse. Did you rehearse?
Let's get after it. Every HGTV show seems to follow the same script. I sell Beanie Babies that are crocheted and we have a budget of $2.5 million. Somehow that's the story every single time. In our particular case, this is a well-loved, well-used house. This is a yard that has passed its heyday. These are everyday people who want to have a space that fits their everyday life, which means the budget is realistic, which means the design needs to be fitting, and it needs to make an impact in how they live in their house and their yard. Our first step to making this happen was actually wiping the slate clean. There were dilapidated pavers, old fence, overgrown plants, and a grade that frankly was no longer supporting this yard and was causing all kinds of drainage issues.
So we're here at Newport News on site on day 4 or 5 of this job. Now, we've done most of our dig out. Fair amount of our gravel's already in place, so you can see we've already kind of created an entire mess here. Over here, we had an existing brick walkway that was kind of settling, a little bit disheveled. It was definitely worse for the wear. So you can see we got that dug out. We're gonna dig out a little bit more, put our base back in. We're gonna do this with Blocks Eva paver. We're also gonna match the driveway with the same exact paver as well. This side patio connects the back of the garage to this side door. We're also gonna do a little flower bed and a bunch of landscaping over here. So you can see the guys have made a ton of progress here in the backyard. We've already got our landing built. We've already got our pavilion built. So our main lay is Blocks Blue 60 and Shale Gray with our Block Blue 60 6x13 and Onyx Black, just like we're bordering off the side walkway with. Now, we did the lower landing patio here, and our upper landing also has the same exact Blue 60 in Shale Gray with 6x13 and Onyx Black border. Some cap lights here and in the steps as we go down. We also have one just on the end, kind of like a handrail. Inside the pavilion area, we did Blocks Blue Grande at a 45-degree angle. So, let's run through the numbers. As you guys know, we built primarily with gravel. Our total tonnage is about 60 or so tons. It's 120,000 pounds of gravel. It is a massive, massive amount of stone. It's like 24 African elephants. Now for our pavers, total weight from all of our pavers, all of our wall block, all of our caps, we're looking at roughly 70,000 pounds or so. 35 Liberty Bells, like, yeah, Philadelphia, that Liberty Bell. Now, if you add all this stuff together, we're looking at roughly 190,000 pounds of total hardscaping material going in here. It's like 7 spy satellites just kind of hovering around and getting all sorts of intel on how we build things. Now, the part that I was most excited to get some numbers on was the pergola. So, as you can see, we do have 6x6s and 4x4s and 2x12s, all sorts of stuff going in here to build this, plus concrete to build the footers. We're roughly sitting at 2,500 or so pounds of total material to build a pergola. And based on my calculations, that's 12 or so paver pats. Let's not do that math in reverse though, please. I have one massive problem here with this job. And as you can see, it's privacy. The houses are really close to each other. In some spaces, it's only 15 to 20 feet in between houses. Now, I can't really fix that, but as we all know, if we have neighbors that are living right on top of us, we don't always want to see what they're doing, and we don't always want our neighbors to see what we're doing. So let me get with Jim, see what we can come up with.
While Pat is working on the job site, I have a lead on something that's interesting I might want to build into the patio. Where'd you get this thing?
It was on a job site here in Pocosin, and we had to grind a stump, and the homeowner was like, man, get this thing out of my way. And I said, well, where do you want it? He said, I've been trying to throw it away for years. And I said, you can't throw away something like this. This thing is really cool. I talked to the Mariners Museum, and they estimate it to be At least 75 years old.
At least 75
At
years
least 75 years old is what they said. And they put it in the bed of my truck.
old. And how long you said it was in there?
At least a year,
At
maybe
least
a year and a half.
Yeah, I mean, this is no joke of a thing to move around.
No.
Yeah.
No, it's not. I was asking $400 for it. It's a one-of-a-kind piece. You're not just going to go find another drop anchor just like this.
Yeah.
With this much character on the marketplace.
What do you think about 300?
I could do 300.
Yeah.
I could do 300 bucks. Sweet. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks for delivering it too.
Hey, no problem.
makes
When
it
I seen you pull up in that, I was like,
I
don't
mean,
think we should put
we
that
could have
in
put
there.
this in the back of the car.
I am very thankful for the delivery. It would have made a mess in the trunk of my car. Let's head over to Pat and see what he's got figured out.
We just wrapped up installing the patio. So the driveway is done, back patio is done, and Jim and his crew are here today working on installing the landscaping, doing all of our grading, our cleanup, finishing up the drainage, lighting, of course, because that's like the creme de la creme of every project, right? Now, we talked about privacy being a really big issue with this project, and as you can see behind me, we've already started to address that problem. So we installed a PVC fence that goes all the way along the side of this property. But I didn't want this to be like so drawn out with just this long white blandness. And so what Jim is doing is incorporating a little bit of landscaping in here, just kind of like to break up the monotony of the space a little bit, not make it look so drowned out. So what we've started to do is we have these green emerald arborvitae, and right now these are about 7-8 foot tall. But as they grow, they're going to continue to grow up and up and up and spread out a little bit. So not only is it going to block our view from in between, but it's also going to block our view from up top as well. So when our clients are upstairs in their house looking down at the pool from their neighbors, like eventually that'll get blocked out. And the reverse is going to work from the neighbors next to them. When they're in the pool and the trees are starting to grow up, it's also going to block their view from seeing up as well. So we've kind of killed 3 or 4 birds at one stone. Anyone that knows Micah knows that Micah loves to stir the pot, and every once in a while likes to make our lives a little bit harder than it needs to be. So if you guys remember from our last episode, Micah said, hey Pat, I want you to build this thing to the space well after I already finished building the space. And it turned out great. Our clients were happy, it looks beautiful at night, and it looks beautiful during the day too. But this job is also not immune from that Micah-ism either. So let's see what he's got for me this time.
So I have something I want to get your permission for to build into the space. I was thinking overarching about the area. So I was thinking, okay, we've got the Hilton area, we've got Christopher Newport, we have the shipyard. I want something that is representative of the history of the area. So let me show you what I found. A massive anchor. And so I still don't know exactly how I want to build it in.
And where would the anchor go?
I think the anchor, we would pivot it a little bit to the side and it would be part of the flower bed.
So the anchor would go into that flower bed right there, and the handle would be at that, like this end right there?
That's right. So the big question, the yes or no question, all comes down to this. Do I get to build this anchor into your space, yes or no?
Yes, you do.
Awesome. Okay.
If I'm reading the script correctly, at this point, it's usually where the client and the contractor have some passive aggressive exchange over what the budget should be and what it actually is. The budget did change and the scope did increase. We added a drain box for the condensation lines just to make sure that that HVAC area didn't get sopping wet. We also added aluminum edging all around the flower beds, which wasn't in the original plan. And the last thing that we added was a couple more lights and also some river rock around the pergola so that the splash from the water coming off the roof didn't cause any sort of mud splatter on the pergola. These are all the little changes that make the space so much more than what I had originally designed and make it personalized to them.
When you're inside, you feel like you have to go outside.
You do. I mean, I just sit here and stare out the window when I'm sitting inside.
Right.
I love it. I can't believe it.
So is it
It's
a
like
good call that I convinced you to put that door
Yes.
in?
We should have done it 30 years ago.
So my first question is, what do you think about the anchor?
Love it.
Yeah?
Love it. And so do all of our friends and family. Shockingly, they love it. I was surprised.
Right.
But yes.
You're saying that's all people could talk about.
Yeah,
You've got
they're
all
like,
this other
this is
stuff.
so cool. I mean, you have this beautiful whatever, and all they could talk about was the anchor. I was
Yeah.
like, okay, I get it. And they're talking about naming the bar the Anchor Bar.
Oh, done. I love it. I figured it'd be like Christopher Newport something, but nope, it's the Anchor Bar.
I wouldn't doubt that if for Christmas one of them makes a Anchor Bar sign.
What's your favorite feature out of everything we've done? Front, backyard, I mean, this is literally a complete makeover.
Complete makeover, and it depends on the day, because I walked out this morning and I was like, I absolutely love this bar. And then the other day I walked out and I absolutely love how pretty that is.
Yeah.
And then
just like that
I
shot
walked
across.
over there and I was like, I can't believe how good my yard looks.
Yeah.
And then I came out yesterday and sat right there and had the best time just sitting out there and doing work.
Right.
So, I mean, and then over there, I'm like, isn't that pretty? Doesn't that look good?
Yeah, so the intent with this space, which I think is kind of cool, was, and this is what I had pointed out, is I think when you're standing back here, right, you don't really have anybody that can see you. So
No,
this is
it's
kind of
very
like
private.
the come out in your pajamas, nobody can see you with your cup of coffee, like that kind of
It's
concept.
perfect.
How
Oh,
we
it's
thought it
been
would.
great. I love it.
Yeah.
Absolutely love
All right,
it.
you have to pick one thing.
I would guess the fact that this is a whole new add-on room, in essence, to
Yeah.
our house is the best part, because we can come out here in the summer,
Yeah.
we can come out here in the winter. It sounds really good when it rains.
Oh yeah, it has that little,
Sit underneath it when it rains. We were able to do that a couple times. I actually have video of it.
yeah.
And we don't get wet, and the sound of the rain on the roof is just
the
so
pitter-patter.
relaxing. And the
Awesome.
beautiful bar.
I know.
And the foot rail.
Right. Yeah, he came into my office one day and Andrew said, he's like showing me this picture. He's like, you need to order this. You know, he has this Russian accent.
I didn't
so
even
he's
know
very
I
gruff,
needed
but
it. And
it's
once
like-
I got it, I was like, this is the best thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Our
love
Our
it.
original
Original budget for the yard was broken into two phases, the front and the back, both to be completed at the same time for $106,390. Project did morph a little bit, bringing our final budget to $112,037. This included 1,603 square feet of pavers for $48,490, two landings, a 3x4 and 7x12 for $10,077, a 14x14 pergola with all the bells and whistles for $17,560, 22 lights for $6,600, 260 linear feet of drainage for $5,370, front and rear landscaping $15,075, aluminum and PVC fencing $7,790. The yard is now a completely unrecognizable and truly upgraded space for them to enjoy the great outdoors. Get outside, my friends.